this past weekend, Joe, there was a report in ESPN that some owners are hoping the players vote no because they wanted an 18th game, and they would love to renegotiate to get that 18th game. And many thought that was a signal of smoke from the NFL to tell the players to take this deal in a threatening manner, saying, if you don't like this the way it is right now, guess what? Wait till you see the next one if you vote no on this one. Is that something that you think owners, knowing the front offices and the way it works, would actually leak through sources?
Well, I think the notion that the owners would leak something that applied pressure to the players to do the deal now versus later and vote yes on this deal is totally plausible, as I think is the union also capable of doing that, and most people in these kind of negotiations, even if it's just for a single player, are. But I've been pretty dismissive of the report that the owners want 18 games. I sat in on some of the discussions about the challenges of pushing the season earlier and starting on Labor Day, and the history of how ineffective that was from a ratings perspective. I've seen in the meetings with the reports of the regular season ratings when you start to get into January, and they drop off dramatically. To think that the owners are really thinking they're better off with 18 games, I don't think there's significant additional TV money for an 18th game because of where it falls. And therefore, having sat in on those discussions, I think it's plausible that the owners would leak something that would make the players think that it was better to take the deal now than later. But the specifics of the 18-game part, it's not credible to me from what I know.
Well, then how plausible is it that if the players don't take this deal, there's no shot that they actually get one that's more improved from what they're looking for?
100%. My answer is 100%. Now, I'm saying it this way. If you factor in what they lose this year, which will be some TV money because negotiating these deals is going to happen this year, and they'll be worse if there's no labor peace, or at least no surety of labor peace, and the players lose some of that money, as do the owners, so it's bad for both sides. They're going to lose money in benefits that were going to be increased this year, as well as the $100 million that was going to be added, straight into the cap. And potentially and probably lose the extra money, which was quite a bit from the added playoff game that's in the proposal that was going to start this year. So they have to do better than this deal by that much just to break even. And I've sat in the meeting. So people understand there's a group of the owners that's called the CEC. It's really the owners that drive the decisions, and they're the ones that determine when the deal is good enough to bring to the full membership with their recommendation. I've sat in the meetings as the negotiations were happening in 2011 with those 8 owners. And I'm just going to tell you, my opinion is that if the players wait till next year to do the deal, it will not be as good as what they have on the table at this moment.
So how much are the TV deals driving all this, Joe?
Well, the TV deal is obviously very important, but I make the point that some people seem to skip over. It's equally important to both sides. The players in the new deal would have a cap that literally 48%, but practically at least 48.5, maybe even 48.8, depending upon the TV deals. The owners get the other 51-odd%, but the owners have to pay expenses out of the 51%, so they actually net less money than the players do on that type of a transaction. So that's why I say both sides should realize that having labor peace and negotiating a long-term TV deal with their partners, with the partner having surety, is a benefit to both sides and not a leverage point for either side. Somehow the discussion has led to, the players have leverage because the owners need the TV deal done now. No, neither side has leverage on this issue. They're both incentivized to maximize this deal. It's the biggest thing that drives the cap. It's the biggest thing that drives the economics both for the owners and the players.